expand a little more upon what we talked about yesterday. What has become normative theology. I walk into bookstores and I see some of the craziest stuff. There are very few real Christian bookstores left. And I'll be honest with you, much of what I see on many news programs when they put, oh, this Christian leader, sorry, they ain't a Christian leader. They just happen to have a bunch of followers. Just because somebody has a bunch of followers does not mean that they are a real Christian leader. But inference of Scripture, we have many people in pulpits today who want to infer what Scripture means. Well, I believe this. Well, again, it doesn't matter what you believe. I want to give you an example of when Jesus heals the 10 lepers. And they are healed, and Jesus says, you go and tell the priest and, do the sacrifice, do whatever the priest tells you is acceptable for being healed of leprosy. One comes back, and it says he's made whole. Well, it doesn't say what that means. Well, that means that leprosy takes your fingers and just eats away at your skin. And that means he got his fingers back and he got it. I don't say that. That's inferring upon Scripture. You don't do that. You don't add to it. And then that, again, just leads to a whole lot of other things. We have had folks who have inferred so much, about Scripture, starting, from Adam and Eve on through. Boy, you want to talk about inference, go to the book of Revelation. Well, there's a lot of inference there. We cannot add our little understanding, our wants, our desires onto Scripture. What does Scripture say? And it says it in the book of Revelation, he who adds to or he who takes away is accursed. You're not to do that. That's not up to us. And just because your favorite TV preacher or your favorite so-and-so personality says something doesn't make it true. Just because somebody says, well, God told me, doesn't mean God told them anything. I could say a lot of things. That somebody told me this, that, or the other thing doesn't make it true. Do not infer. We must rightly divide the word of truth. That's what we're told to do. And in saying that, the inverse is also correct, that you can what? Wrongly divide the word of truth. And it has been divided wrongly for many folks. And I'm just telling you, it has happened because of inference. It has happened because people have their own desires and their own wants. And because they can interpret it any way they want. Well, interpretation, we have to interpret things sometimes. But what does the Scripture say? That's what's important. Don't ever add to, don't take away. And I think you do a whole lot better in your understanding and your theology if you'll do that. Pray today that God